It has been just over a month since I added this top brood box, and I want to get in and do a hive inspection. Today is a good day to do it. It's been about a month. It is the sun has come out, so it's partially cloudy, probably about 50%. It's warm. There is a light breeze, gusting winds. So the best time to do a hive inspection is when it's probably the middle of the day. You can see there's a lot of bees here. That means they're out of the hive working. So the middle of the day, on a sunny, clear day, windy-less day, they're going to be out foraging, and so there'll be less bees in the beehive. You don't want to inspect a beehive on a cold, cloudy, windy day. That's the worst time to do that. So it's a good time to do it, and I want to inspect today to see if the queen is laying in the upper chamber and see the overall health of the hive. A month ago, when I found that the queen was laying very well in the bottom here, I decided to add a second brood box. At that time, I also added the entrance feeder. Wow, you can see, I don't know if you can see that, but they're bringing in so much pollen, it's falling off on them, and it's on the front of the hive and on the feeder. But anyway, I wanted to add the entrance feeder, and I started feeding them every other day, one container full, which is a quart of sugar water, just granulated sugar and half water. I take the entrance feeder, fill it up halfway with water, filtered water is what I use because I have it in the kitchen. Then I'll put it in the microwave, warm it up for 45 seconds, and it helps dissolve the 2 cups of sugar I put in it. But I wanted to give her water, sugar water, so that she knew that she had enough food that she could start laying eggs. So now we're going to find out if that worked. If she's found that she has enough food and enough room, so enough food over here and enough room up here to lay eggs, she'll just start laying as many eggs as she can every day. And that's what we're going to find out right now. I have my complete bee suit on, gloves, veil, so forth. And this is what I use when I get into my beehive to do an inspection. I've got a bag of old newspapers I keep around and pine needles. I just pick up the pine needles from around my back porch here. I don't have any pine trees on my property, but my neighbors have pine trees, and so there's always lots of pine needles that I can use. But just in case, I just keep some in a bag here. What I'll do is I'll take this newspaper here, tear it into strips, put my screen down here in the bottom, light the newspaper strips, and get a few pumps there and get a nice flame, and then start adding the pine needles and get it stuffed in with pine needles. I'll go ahead and close that up and then use that. I've of course got my bee brush and my hive tool ready to get into the hive. Okay, I've got my newspaper torn up here. I've got one piece in here. I'll just go ahead and get that lit. Start fanning it. And then I'm just going to add these other strips of paper inside. Same time, fan it. Get those caught on fire. Use my hive tool, just kind of squish that down. Make sure there's a nice flame. I like to have my gloves on in case I need to grab the paper and move it. So, we've got everything going here. Push this down a little bit more. It's a little bit harder to do this and demonstrate it at the same time. Get a nice flame. There we go. Now I'm going to just start adding a bunch of pine needles. As you can see in here, that takes off pretty good. Then when I'll fill it up with more pine needles and get over to the hive. Okay, got the smoker going well. I'll just come over here and give the bees a little bit of smoke. Then I'm going to do the same here to the top. I'll pop the top and put a couple puffs inside. First thing I see is I see bees on the top, which is a good indication that they're healthy and that there are a lot of them. I took my beehive tool and loosened up the top here. Now I'm just going to lift up the top and add some smoke underneath. Now that the bees have been driven down by the smoke, I'm just going to start going through and just taking a look inside of here. I'm looking to see how well the queen has laid eggs in this top brood box. I don't know that it makes a lot of difference, but I'm just going to start from frame number 1 and go across and see how things look. This is the outside of frame number 1. You can see that they're pulling the frame, doing well, and they're starting to put some pollen, it looks like, here in the frame. I'll just take this frame and I'm just going to set it off to the side, just like that, and then it gives me room to work with the other frames. I keep my hive tool handy and just kind of gently and carefully move the frame aside and lift it up to see how it's going here. Okay, not a lot of work on here. That's fine. Kind of look down inside the hive. Looks like the bees are busy. I'm just going to move this over to where the first frame was to give me some working room. Take my hive tool again. I have a little pocket on the side of my bee suit here that I just drop my hive tool in, so I always know where it is. Gently reach in here, give the girls a chance to get out from underneath my fingers. Oh, this is heavy. Okay, so here we've got capped larvae here. We've got uncapped larvae. We've got some pollen and some honey on the edges. So this looks really good, and this is quite heavy. Again, on the other side, this is frame number 3. Things are looking well. You notice there isn't any pulled comb here. That's where we had some wax moth problems, and I dug that out. So hopefully they'll build that back up. But they're storing pollen, honey, and she's laying eggs. So that looks really good. I'll just set this back in here gently. Typically, if you're considerate of the bees, they're going to be considerate of you. So I try to work here carefully. I don't like to spend a lot of time in here, but I am going to add a little bit more smoke. You can see how quickly that drives them down. They don't like the smoke. The theory is they think it's a fire, and so they're going to start gorging themselves with honey in case they have to evacuate. Okay, now I'm on to frame number 4. This is also heavy. We've got lots of capped brood in here, which is good. And we've got honey resources right by the brood so they can feed the brood. Okay, so it looks like she's got room. I'm making sure that she has room to lay eggs. I don't want them to be too full that she feels like she doesn't have room to grow. Let's go ahead and check this next one here. Now we're in the middle of the box. This is typically where you're going to find the majority of the eggs and larvae. This is by far the heaviest one. Okay, here we go. Alright, she's doing a good job here. We got lots of brood on both sides, so we're looking really good. I am not looking for the queen right now. I'm just seeing if she's doing her job, which she is. I'm going to go ahead and finish going across here. We should probably be seeing less eggs and more honey and food storage as we get away from the center. This is frame number 7. You can see the bees are working it very well. It is full of pollen and honey. So they're doing exactly what they should be doing, storing their food and energy supplies out on the edges and then laying in the middle. This is frame number 8. You can see they just barely have started pulling this frame, which is good. And on the outside of frame number 8, you can see they've almost completely finished pulling the frame. They're doing a really good job here. They'll only pull the comb if they feel like they need space to lay eggs or to store honey. So this is looking really well. I'm going to go down to into the main brood box on the bottom quickly and see how things are going there. Alright, I put the frames back in the original position and I'm ready to get down into the first brood box here. Now, if I wanted to, I could have rotated this one and they would have maybe started working on pulling that frame a little bit more, but I'm going to leave it as it is. We've got lots of bees. They look very healthy. Got to make sure you keep your smoker going. And it looks like they're busy working. So I'll go ahead and just take a quick peek in here and see how they're doing. This This is frame number 3, and as you can see, there's lots of bees on here, and they're doing a great job. The queen is filling up that area with larvae, and I could not be happier with this hive. It looks very healthy. I don't see any signs of any kind of sickness in here. They're doing very well. I'm going to go ahead and close this hive up. I don't like being in a hive very long. It bothers them. Actually, I could probably split this hive right now because it's so healthy and so strong. And if I do, I'll make a video on splitting a hive. None of us beekeepers want to hurt any of our bees, and that's one of the best reasons to have your smoker available. So when you're ready to put the hive back, give them some good smoke. That'll drive the bees back down inside, and you'll squish less bees when you're putting everything back. That's quite a bit of smoke, but as you can see, it clears them. I can now put this on top and not worry about crushing bees. Okay, I'm done with my hive inspection. Everything looked really good. I'm very pleased with this queen and all her workers. Doing a great job. So that's how I do a hive inspection. So now that you've seen the strength of this hive, what do you think? Is it ready to split? Would you split it? How would you split it? Love to get your comments and feedback. This is LDS Prepper reminding you, if you are prepared, you shall not fear. And if you have bees, you'll be able to increase the output of your garden and enjoy one of the wonders of nature.